Never judge a helicopter by its rotors. The Army's latest aircraft pick might just surprise you. The Bell V-280 Valor just beat out the SB-1 Defiant in one of the biggest military aviation showdowns of the decade. But here's the twist. It wasn't because it's better in a dogfight. Nope. The real reason is way more strategic and honestly kind of sneaky. Stick around because what you're about to hear might change how you think about future wars. All right, let's rewind. The U.S. Army needed a new aircraft to replace the legendary Black Hawk. This wasn't just an upgrade. This was like replacing your all-in-one Swiss Army knife with something even sharper, faster, and future-proof. The final showdown came down to two next-gen machines, the Bell V-280 Valor versus the Sikorsky-Boeing SB-1 Defiant. One contract, up to $70 billion on the line. No pressure, right? The V-280 Valor is a tilt rotor, meaning it can take off like a helicopter and then cruise like a plane. Imagine your car suddenly transforming into a Ferrari halfway down the highway. That's the kind of hybrid tech we're talking about. It cruises at 280 knots, has a combat range of 500 to 800 miles, and can ferry over 2,100 nautical miles. It's also designed with modular open systems, which basically means future upgrades will be plug-and-play. Think of it as the iPhone of military aircraft, ready for constant updates. Meanwhile, the SB-1 Defiant is a compound helicopter with coaxial rotors and a rear pusher propeller. It's built for speed and maneuverability in tight spaces, like dense cities, jungles, or mountainous terrain. It can reach about 250 knots and is highly responsive. It also uses fly-by-wire controls, which is a fancy way of saying the pilot doesn't just fly it, it responds like a video game controller. All right, let's talk about why the U.S. Army gave the green light to the V-280 Valor instead of the SB-1 Defiant. And trust me, it's more than just a coin toss. So first off, the SB-1 had this super fancy rigid rotor system. Sounds cool, right? It made the chopper crazy agile, especially flying low and fast through tight spots, like a ninja in the trees. But here's the catch. That same system also brought in more vibration and made the controls more complicated. Basically, it was awesome for air shows, but when the Army thought about managing hundreds of these birds long-term, they were like, maybe not. Now here's a fun little timeline twist. The V-280 took its first flight way back in 2017. The SB-1? Not until 2019. That's a full 2-year head start for Bell. And what did they do with that extra time? Fix bugs, gather test data, and basically become the teacher's pet. Meanwhile, SB-1 was still getting its act together. While Bell's V-280 was busy racking up over 200 flight hours, doing all kinds of impressive stuff like autonomous flying, hitting 300 knots in descent, and smoothly shifting from vertical to horizontal like a Transformers scene, the SB-1 was still wrestling with speed limits caused by its tricky transmission. It finally hit its top performance, but only near the end of the testing phase, which was kind of late to impress anyone. And here's where things really go. Boom! Developing the SB-1's transmission and drivetrain on a full Army scale? Analysts said it could cost billions more than the V-280's simpler tilt-rotor setup. The Army looked at that price tag and said, "No thanks, we're not funding another decade-long science experiment." On top of that, Valor was designed from day one to protect the people inside it. Its cabin layout offers more crash protection than the SB-1's narrower body, which had to sacrifice some safety zones to stay fast and nimble. It's kind of like choosing between a race car and an SUV. You want speed, but you also want airbags and a seatbelt. And hey, here's a nerdy but cool design win. The V-280's wings don't move. Just the rotors tilt. Unlike the Osprey, which rotates entire engine nacelles, the Valor keeps things simple and safer, especially when it comes to maintenance. Bell also went full sci-fi with digital twin modeling. They basically created a digital clone of the aircraft and ran thousands of virtual test flights before ever taking off. That gave them a massive head start in figuring out how to keep the aircraft flying longer and cheaper, two things the Army loves. And speaking of staying in the fight, the Valor was built with modular maintenance in mind. That means you can swap out parts like gearboxes and rotor blades right in the field. No need to fly it back to base for every little fix. That's not just convenient, it's a game changer in combat. Oh, and this is something most people miss. The V-280 fits inside current Army hangars. The SB-1, with its wild rotor setup and back pusher prop, would have needed special tools and more space. Imagine telling the Army, hey, we need to rebuild all your garages. Yeah, not gonna fly. Maintenance-wise, Bell made sure you can access the engines without taking apart the rotors. That saves dozens of hours every time you need to do routine checks. Now here's something new. Did you know the SB-1 had fewer flight hours than the V-280 during the evaluation process? That's right. The V-280 racked up way more testing time, data, and reliability points. So while the SB-1 looked good on paper, the Army needed something they had more confidence in now, not 5 years from now. And one more fun fact. Bell claims the Valor is 50% cheaper to maintain than a Black Hawk. That's not just cool. That's game-changing when you're managing a fleet of hundreds. Now let's talk combat. The V-280 was built to hug the ground, flying low and fast to avoid radar. We're talking 280 knots while basically playing hide-and-seek with enemy missiles. It's like dodging bullets while riding a bullet. And if something goes wrong mid-air, no problem. The Valor can keep flying with just one engine, and its smart flight system can reroute commands even if parts are damaged. It's like a self-healing robot that refuses to crash. Zooming out to the big picture, this aircraft wasn't just picked for current conflicts. The Pacific factor. The Pacific is vast, and U.S. forces need to operate across islands, open ocean, and remote bases. The V-280's 2,100-plus nautical miles range makes it much better suited than the SB-1, which has a much shorter range. Faster movement means troops and supplies can be moved quickly between islands, giving the U.S. an edge in mobility. If the U.S. were still focusing on urban counterinsurgency, SB-1 would have been the better choice. But for a Pacific war against China, the V-280's speed and range make more sense. Now here's a wild card. The SB-1 might not be dead. Special operations forces, international buyers, or even the Army itself could still come back around. We've seen this before. The F-22 was supposed to replace the F-15, and now we've got the F-15EX flying brand new off the line. So don't be shocked if the Black Hawk, the V-280, and the SB-1 all end up sharing the skies for decades to come. The military's got a habit of keeping its old toys around. Just ask your uncle who still uses a flip phone. That's it for today. See you in the next video.